Hey everyone, I would like to address what I see as a myth or misconception about medieval plate armour. You often hear something along the lines of people saying that breastplates, backplates and helmets were only possible after people were able to create large enough blooms to forge them out of, meaning that they were only able to make breastplates and backplates because they were able to make a large enough bloom, and people get the idea that unless you can create a bloom over 10 kilos you can't make a breastplate because it's not enough steel to create a breastplate or a helmet or a backplate. But if you have an understanding of blacksmithing from this time period, this should seem like nonsense to you because of forge welding. Forge welding was a major part of the blacksmith's skill set in the time period we're talking about. Basically, once you get the bloom, you then need to purify it and start working it out into a sheet. And in this process, it's normal to refine steel in this time period and earlier by folding it, forge welding it, flattening it out, folding it again, forge welding it, and you repeat the process. You may be familiar with the traditional methods of creating Japanese swords where they do this with the tamahagane, and you may have even seen traditional Japanese swordsmiths break up the iron and steel, the tamahagane, into small pieces, stack them up, forge weld them, and start folding that. Well, that is in a sense the normal way of refining and removing impurities from steel and iron in this time period. And with this in mind, the idea that you need a bloom large enough that it can be forged into a breastplate by itself seems completely ridiculous, because if you're folding it and forge welding it, you can add extra steel in, you can add extra iron in. So if you've got two 5 kilo blooms, you can forge weld them together in the refining stage. So yeah, honestly, this whole idea that breastplates were only able to be created after they started producing blooms over 10 kilos because before then the blooms weren't big enough to create a breastplate, that's nonsense. There does seem, from what I've heard, to be a correlation between average bloom size and the emergence of plate armour. It might have something to do with making larger pieces of steel more cost effective. That is a possibility. But to say that you could not make a breastplate without a bloom of iron over 10 kilos is just ridiculous and a misconception. But it's one that I hear repeatedly and often. So I thought I'd do a little video replying to it. Hey everyone, hope this was educational for those of you who are interested in medieval blacksmithing or old blacksmithing techniques and medieval armour or anything medieval. If you've got any other myths or things that seem a bit fishy, or you want to ask me questions about blacksmithing, especially historical blacksmithing, please leave a comment. I am tempted to possibly start addressing some of these myths about blacksmithing and whatnot. Alright everyone, have you enjoyed this video? If you would like to see more, please like, comment, or even better yet, share it on social media. That would be a great help. Alright everyone.